We're now 5 episodes into Dragon Ball Daima, and I swear I'm trying to get these reviews out faster. And we're once again picking up where the story left off with the new character introducing herself to the group, and we all know what her name is now, it's Panzy. She thanks the gang for helping her escape from King Goma's military police, and she's actually pretty surprised that a kid like Goku could be as strong as he is. Now we know why Goku is so strong, but he just tells her that he trained, and that training is training, and that's all there is to it. Panzy's quick to realize that Goku doesn't have pointed ears, so she asks him which of the demon worlds he's from. But before Goku can even come up with some sort of an answer, Glorio just says he's from the second demon world. I'm guessing Glorio's logic here is that, this is just a kid. She's not gonna know that the second demon world demons don't have round ears. It's just something to feed her so that she'll stop asking questions. And he clearly isn't keen on the idea of her going with them, and he tries to get Shin and Goku to just ignore her so they can keep going to the castle, which Goku blurts out in front of her. Now she wants to know why they're going to Cotton Castle, and the group does try to just go on without her, but she lets them know that she knows how to get there. Then we get a quick scene of the military police as they try to regroup from that beating they got, and now they put out a notice that everyone should be on the lookout for a spiky-haired kid carrying a red pole. Now we're back with the main group, and Panzy officially introduces herself, which makes Goku say that she's got a weird name, and then she says that Goku's name is weird, and then Goku says, I actually have 2 names, my other name's Kakarot. She says, well, that's even weirder than having a weird name. Then she wants to know what kind of magic Goku is good at, and that stumps him because he's never used magic before. Panzy explains that every Majin is capable of doing some kind of magic, which she demonstrates by very briefly lifting a small rock into the air, which seems to take all of her energy from her. Clearly this is not her strong suit, and she is quick to tell everyone that her real talent is in tinkering with machines, which, golly gee, I wonder who else might like to do something like that. There's obviously going to be some sort of companionship or maybe friendly rivalry between her and Bulma whenever that group gets to the demon world, but how that's going to play out, we don't really know yet. Then we get another mention of the Gleaned, as Panzy realizes that Shin is one of them, and she even remembers that Goma's right-hand man Degasu also looks very much like Shin. She says most of the Gleaned left the demon world a long time ago, which I'm guessing is probably going to be a similar story to why all the Nameks left. But when she asks Shin what business he might have in the third demon world as a Gleaned, he just says that he's journeying, which is very suspicious to her. She tries to ask him his name, but Glorio just stays silent. But never fear, Goku is here to help. But he's having trouble remembering Glorio's name, and he mispronounces it. Now he does correct Goku, which means Panzy knows his name now, which just begs the question, why wouldn't he just give it to her when she asked? It's obvious that Glorio wants to keep as much of this mission a secret as possible. This dude has been all business so far, and I assume that the reason he wants to keep this so secret is so that Goma doesn't catch wind of what they're planning to do. But his attempts to get Panzy to just go away don't work, and she shows them a quicker way to get to the castle, which Shin and Goku are happy to take. Then Shin brings up the military police and how cruel they are to be draining people's lifespans just because they don't have money. Panzy agrees with him, specifically that the loss of 9 years of your life if you don't have a single coin is brutal. After all, people in this realm only live for 1,000 years. Yeah, Goku pretty much had the exact same reaction, and he's like, well, wait a minute, 1,000 years? Is losing 9 really that bad? Of course Panzy wouldn't know that people from Earth don't live that long. Even the Saiyans in their extended period of youth don't have extended lifespans like that. This gets Goku to ask her how old she is, and she responds that she's a very young 82. Which of course means that she's older than Goku, technically, but we don't really understand how aging works for the Demon World citizens. It could be that, yes, although she's almost 100 years old, she's probably still just a kid. This kind of throws out my idea, though, that maybe Panzy was some previous opponent for Majin Buu in the past, and that's why she's a kid like everyone else from that wish. But could be she is just a kid. Finally though, our group arrives at Kaden Castle, which Glorio says is basically run like a mafia operation. But Panzy says no, that's not true. She says the king here only steals from thieves and only executes bad guys. Overall, he seems like he's a pretty decent dude. Then we finally get to see Dende for the first time in a while, and he's laying in a crib being read Demon World fairy tales by a Majin who I guess works for Goma. Now the interesting thing about this scene though is that we get to hear Goma's plan for Dende, and it looks like he's planning on having Dende create a whole new set of Dragon Balls for them to use, I guess because he just doesn't want to deal with the Tamagami. This could be interesting though, because Dende didn't actually create the Earth's Dragon Balls. Those are the same ones that Kami had originally created. Dende just restored them. Maybe because those Dragon Balls weren't created by Dende, he can make a new set. Or could be that there is no limitation to the number of sets of Dragon Balls a Namek can make. More questions we'll have to wait to get answers to, but now it's time for Kaden Castle. Glorio once again tries to get Panzy to leave, telling her that the guards aren't going to let her through, but she insists that she's going to go with them. It's here where we find out that the reason why Panzy knew the way to the castle is because she's its princess. That's right, the king is her daddy. And at first, the king is not too impressed by the two warriors that have been brought to him by Glorio. But Panzy does explain to her dad that Goku did save her from Goma's military police. Now here's where things get really interesting to me. Panzy asked her dad if he had sent Glorio out to get Goku, but he says that's not the case. According to King Kaden, it was Glorio who approached him about going and getting somebody from the outside world who had already defeated Majin Buu to take care of Goma. This is obviously not the story that Glorio originally told to Shin and everyone else. This character is so serious, he's a no-nonsense type of guy, but I think I'm starting to see what they may be setting up with him. Perhaps Glorio actually is a big fan of this king and thinks that he would be a much better ruler for the people of the demon realm than Goma is. Perhaps this was Glorio's plan all along. Get somebody strong enough to get rid of Goma so that King Kaden could rule. Now, I'm not going to completely throw out the idea that Glorio will eventually double-cross Goku and the others, but I really like this idea that this whole plan is specifically to get Kaden in power. And King Kaden just outright says that he wants Goma defeated so that he can take over as Supreme Demon King. And based on what we know about this character, he would be a pretty good ruler compared to Goma or Dabura. And King Kaden is already planning the celebrations because he offers to let Panzy marry Goku if he's able to take out Goma. Panzy's of course embarrassed and upset, saying that he can't make that kind of decision, but he's like, "No, don't worry, I didn't mean now, I meant when you're older." This of course was to set up an obvious joke, and Goku sure enough explains that he's already married and has kids. This freaks out the royal family, and Shin then has to explain that no, this was the wish that Goma made on the Earth's Dragon Balls, and that's why they're there, to save their friend and hopefully collect the 3 Demon World Dragon Balls. Here we're yet again told that no one has ever gathered the 3 Demon World Dragon Balls because no one there, even Goma, is strong enough to take down the Tamagami. And it stuns King Kaden to hear Goku just say, "Well, we'll figure it out somehow," which prompts him to want to see Goku's actual battle strength because Glorio told him that Goku was able to take down Majin Buu. Now here I find it interesting that King Kaden suggests that if Goku really was able to beat Majin Buu, then there's a good chance he'll get the 3 Dragon Balls. We used to hear all the time, especially during the Namek Saga, about just how powerful characters were in comparison to Frieza. Frieza was the top of the mountain. No matter how strong anyone else was in that show, from the Ginyu Force to Goku after he got to Planet Namek, Frieza was just too strong. And it seems like in the demon world, Majin Buu has a similar reputation for just being a powerhouse that can't be stopped. This prompts King Kaden to ask Goku for a demonstration of his strength in a big sort of brawl against all of his castle guards. Then we're given another very well animated action scene where Goku even briefly teases Super Saiyan for just a second. You can see they're very slowly easing into those upper levels of Goku's power. They're not going to give us his full strength until a lot later on in this show. Surprising absolutely nobody who watched this episode, Goku easily wins and proves his strength to the king. Now King Cotton is very happy to provide Goku and his friends with anything they need to continue their journey, including sending his soldiers to steal a bigger plane from a gang. While they wait for the heist to be completed, Shin asks the king if there's any way that they can help get their friends to the demon world. King Cotton asks a Majin named Hibis if he could just go to the outside world and fetch their friends with a new pin code. Apparently, it may not be much longer before Bulma, Piccolo, and Vegeta can get to the demon world and rejoin up with Goku and Shin. Then Panzy says that she wants to go with Goku and see Goma be defeated, citing also that she's good with machines, so if the ship breaks, she can fix it. Goku promises the king that he'll keep her safe, and he decides to let her go. But before they can get on the ship, Shin pulls Goku aside. He points out to Goku what we all realized earlier, in that Glorio has not been honest with them. King Cotton didn't know about Goma's wish turning most of Goku's friends into kids, and Glorio obviously lied about having been approached by the king himself to go get Goku. I like that Shin is being very cautious when it comes to dealing with Glorio, because he's obviously very smart, and Goku's lackadaisical approach to everything is fine for him, but Shin's the Supreme Kai. He needs to be as careful as possible here. But now the ship is loaded up and everyone's on board and they take off. Except they don't get very far and the ship crashes because Panzy has loaded it up with too much stuff. And that's where the episode ends, with a tease of episode 6 titled Lightning, where it looks like Goku and Glorio are finally going to spar with each other and we get some kind of confrontation with a big Minotaur demon. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. I don't know that we necessarily needed another fight scene just for Goku to flex on everybody, but at least it looked good. And this big mystery around Glorio's actual motivation is starting to remind me a lot about the early part of the Goku Black arc, where we had no idea who Goku Black really was. I'm hoping they'll be able to really stick the landing in a way that will be impactful, because if you'll remember, people were sort of not sure how to feel about the reveal that Goku Black was the present-day Zamasu, instead of that weird attempt at a red herring of showing future Zamasu aligned with him. And then it got even more complicated, because after they did kill current-day Zamasu, it didn't affect Goku Black at all because he's immune to changes in the timeline because of the time ring. What did you guys think? Did you like this episode? Are you interested in what Glorio might be hiding from the rest of the cast? What about Panzy and King Cotton? Do you think that Panzy's just going to end up being a secondary Bulma? Or could King Cotton actually become the new Supreme Demon King? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also become a member of my channel if you'd like to do that, or you can donate to my channel over on my Ko-fi page. Now, I'm gonna go steal a lie detector from Goma's military police, because Glorio has been fibbing.